healing was the answer, you'd already be where you want to be. But healing isn't the problem anymore. The problem is you haven't decided you want to be done. My name's Dawn, and I am the creator of Practical Spiritualism and the Self-Sovereignty System, and the founder of Sovereignty Rising. And today I want to talk about one of our big obstacles of why we don't heal. This was a question that I asked almost every single day after I had a brain injury. My question was, why do some people spontaneously heal and other people don't? And this question led me to great teachers such as Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton, many more. And within there, I just kept asking that question. Why do some people spontaneously heal and others don't? Carolyn Mace, Michael Singer, Chopra, there's a lot. So I just needed to know this answer. What is it? What is it within us? And after about 6 years of asking this question, watching what was going on, I kept thinking, well, maybe it's the healing, or maybe it's the way that we need to heal. Maybe it's needing to do a different kind of meditation. Maybe it's what we eat. Is it the toxic people that we spend time with? And I realized there's a part of all of that comes into play. But one of the biggest things that we don't realize is there actually needs to be a desire to be done. And we have to be ready to call it. So at some point, healing turns into the actual reason to be stuck. You keep looking for the next breakthrough and the next deep inner work session and the next aha moment, because as long as you're healing, you don't have to act. Now, I remember when I came to this realization, and it was painful. I did not want to own that at all. It made me feel like I was choosing to remain a victim of my situation, and I didn't like how it made me feel. But the truth is in many ways, I was terrified to fully heal. Because if I fully healed, what was that going to mean? What was that going to mean for me going back to work? What was it going to mean for people's expectations of me? Who was I going to be when I was fully healed? And would she be as good as she had been before? Would she have more expectations on her? Was some of the toxic situations that I had been in and relationships, was I going to have to go back to them? Because I wouldn't have my brain injury as a buffer anymore. It's an interesting question, or series of questions, and one that I've put forward to many clients over the years. Complex PTSD, physical injuries and illnesses. And it's an interesting question because many of us, once we sit down and think about it, we realize we're not sure that it's safe to fully heal. The other side of that is, for many people, the healing journey is what propels us into the next phase of our life. We become a coach, a healer, something. And it's the healing that promotes the work. So is it safe for us to heal, or do I become the identity of healing, which keeps me connected to the journey and proving that I deserve to be doing whatever it is that I'm doing? So healing feels safe because it becomes a never-ending project that keeps you from fully stepping into your power. It's easier to say, I am still healing, than it is to say, I am done and I'm ready to move forward. It's terrifying. Now there's no excuse to not play full out, be as big as you were created to be. At some point, you have to decide, are you going to live your life, or are you going to just keep preparing for it? In March of 2024, I was doing some work with a shaman, some training, and I had done some shadow work. And in that shadow work, we had unlocked in one session a bunch of memories from my childhood. And a week later, we did another session. And then within that next session, we were discussing the programming that was connected to me being stuck in this loop of continuing to have a brain injury. And when we released in through that programming, all of a sudden, it was like done. By the Monday that I went to work, I was multitasking, answering questions for people, and I was a different version of myself. enough that multiple people noticed, commented, and started questioning. And I guess I was somewhat surprised. I was going to say I wasn't surprised, but I was surprised because all of a sudden it just unlocked. So then fast forward and we hit July, and I'm playing small with my self-sovereignty system and creating my programs and moving forward with my coaching and really stepping in to who is Dawn. I don't want to be visible. I'm being challenged to be visible, to start this YouTube channel, to get back on social media where I've really hidden from for quite some time. And I'm scared to do it. I'm terrified. I'm walking up the stairs in my house and I'm coming up with all sorts of reasons as to why it is not safe for me to be visible. And not only it's not safe, I don't need to. Here's all the reasons why it's not beneficial. And I hit the top of the stairs. And since 2018, when I was hurt, I've had a bunch of mystical experiences, hearing voices, being guided. I've been on a surrender journey. And so within that, I was asked the question, are you going to abort this mission? Big booming voice, my right ear. My husband's standing in the kitchen and I look at him and he looks at me and kind of like, what's up? And I can hear it again. Are you going to abort this mission again? I'm shaking pretty bad. And I know this is not a good sign. So I said, no, out loud. My husband's gotten somewhat used to this, so he just keeps watching. And it says, then birth it into life. And I realized at that moment, it doesn't matter what my bullies have ever said to me. It doesn't matter whatever happened with my mom, with my childhood, with my adolescence, with my first husband, none of it. It's done. And I don't need to call my power back. They can have it. I create new power every moment of every day. I don't need that back. What I need to do is cut them off. No more sieving out my life force into the past, into the illusion of what somebody's going to say in the future. So I say out loud, I'm done. And I walk over to the kitchen table, I open up my laptop, and I start rewriting the self-sovereignty system. I write a post and I launch. And what I haven't told you yet is I have severe pelvic pain. And I've been going to the pain clinic every 10 to 12 weeks, having nerve blockers and injections done to stop the pain in my legs and my pelvis so that I can continue to move. I've been told I'll never be able to run again. And this is probably my life. That night, for the first time, and I can't tell you how long, I slept through the night without pain. Now, I'm kind of like, is it all in my head? So I wait. And I just keep pushing forward, and I'm uncomfortable. But I keep going, one step in front of the next. And I keep trying to keep my fear at bay. I'm working with my intention group. I'm working with my mentors and all my coaches, and they are just helping me nudge forward, move through this fear, not of rejection and ridicule, but of persecution. To me, being visible was a life and death issue. And that might seem really ridiculous and, over the top. But for me, from my little girl, that's how she took it. My trauma showed up as it was being seen, being really seen was a risk of death. So since then, that was July. Now, as we sit, it's February 7th, and I still have no pelvic pain. I haven't had another set of injections in there. We work on my head and my neck right now, but that'll be the next thing that I work on through my psychosomatics. But I haven't had an issue again. I'm able to run up to 10K at a time. And my goal is now to run a half marathon. And I just keep pushing, not forcing, but pushing through the fear, pushing through anything about my subconscious that wants to hold me back. I acknowledge it. I feel it. I'm not ignoring it and I'm not stuffing it down, but I'm making a choice to be done with it. I will hear you. We will talk through this, but we are going to keep walking forward. I am here to live my life, and I will no longer continue to prepare for it. What will you do? Healing should be a tool, not an identity. You don't have to be fully healed to be powerful, successful, or whole. You can choose to be in attunement, in alignment with yourself, and be sovereign now. No more waiting, no more endless healing loops, no more wounded healer. Now, the world is waiting for you. You are waiting for you. Subscribe now, because your power isn't in your next breakthrough, it's in your next choice. I see the light in you, and it is brilliant. Brightest of blessings. Until next time.